Awesome. Well, I really want to thank everyone for being here. I'm totally honored. And it always varies as far as the numbers of people and who's here and who's not here or whatever. It'll be here another time. Who knows? My name is Mark Ehrlichs, and I am a healer by the grace of God. This is just what I do in my life. And I've been doing this for about 46 years. God. And uh, what I work with is what I refer to as light. Light is my gift, my goal, and my tool. And it's what I teach others. Um, right now, we're having it's already started, but we're having an introduction to experiential healing. And it's a 5-day class, an hour a day. It's unbelievable, I think. And the people tell me that they like it too, and it's really neat. Then there'll be the second class and third class, and we'll see what comes after that. But then I'll be staggering another starting introduction to spiritual healing in a few weeks, where people can come in and participate in the class. It's a private class. And there's a really good number of people that are attending now for this class, and there's others that have asked if I can start another one, so I will in a few weeks, not right away though. And I will be staggering classes. Other than that, that's at usually at 12 noon for the week, especially now that we have the break. I want to take advantage of it with internet use and all. And let's see, other than that, tomorrow night we have the gathering where there'll be a link that'll be available. Lynn, will you be able to put a link in as well for the gathering for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock?
Yeah, it's in the Facebook group, Spiritual Healing with Mark Ehrlichs.
Yeah, and for those who aren't,
so
would you be able to put it in the comment column if there is one?
Oh, there's a chat window at the bottom. For those of you on the phone, if you move your screen or tap your screen, there should be something come up, and you should be able to access the chat. I will definitely put that in there. It'll appear as a link, and it'll take you to another window.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate that. She's the hub of the operation, and she's located in Canada. And usually we have someone from Japan and another person from Europe, from Great Britain, and it's always changing, which is really neat. And I'd love to get even more worldwide with people just, wanting to see what this is about. Also, the last thing I want to mention is that if anyone's interested, I do offer telephone appointments and Zoom. If you set it up initially until Lynn teaches me how to, we can establish a Zoom appointment, or we can do a FaceTime appointment, or we can just do a regular telephone appointment. And please, someday help me with that, maybe tomorrow or next day. I'd appreciate that, Lynn. Thanks. And other than that, any questions about healing that I can answer before we start? Please, anything. Anyone have anything? Christina?
Hi, Mark. So I do have a question. When you started the call tonight, you talked about how there's an evolution happening. Yes. And there's a shift happening in the world, essentially. And basically just to find the calmness in all of this as opposed to being in the chaos of all of it. Is there anything more we can do? Like, I just assume we're all going to come out of this in a different frequency, per se.
You can call it frequency, vibration, whatever you want. It's real, in my understanding, for me, it's a different consciousness because we've grown and we can't go back to the past somehow. It's not possible, but we can fit into the future.
Okay.
See, a lot of people want to say, oh my God, I wish I could live in the past again, and this and that. You can't. It's not possible. Our consciousness wouldn't fit into it. But our consciousness can grow into a potential future.
Okay. So is there anything we can do to kind of, just continue to be in that calmness? Is there anything you suggest as far as practicing?
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
long do you think this is going to happen for? Do you get an insight on that?
Well, first, what I want to mention is that if we can be cognizant that I wonder what the rest of the story is, if we can ask ourselves that question when something happens or someone makes a comment or you hear a news thing about the virus and it keeps on going and going and going. Whenever any of those things come in, if you can catch yourself for the moment and say, wait a second now, I wonder what the rest of the story is, then you're putting it in check where it's not affecting you, but you're able to be observant objectively. Then you're not wrapped up in the mass mind aspect of it all. In the that consciousness of it, collective consciousness. But as you check yourself, then those around you doubt themselves that are saying those things or in that conversation, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It's kind of like we have to just be aware in the moment as opposed to
without thinking, without anything. Because when you're saying to yourself, I wonder what the rest of the story is, or what more is there to this really, then their minds don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
And that kind of breaks the sequence of events for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps people and situations. The world according to Garth Mark, the way that I perceive things.
Right.
So, good question. Good question. Samantha, please.
I was just going to ask you about when you said that, when you're healing, it's about the light for you. And I was wondering, do you physically see a light? Do you feel a light? How does it work for you?
Remember, you used to come to the circles a long time ago in Chicago, and or in Evanston. And, I think it was Evanston. And when I put my hands on your head and asked a blessing, you had a sense come upon you from within you. That's what I perceive. And I'll perceive through either pictures, maybe, or I'll perceive through sensation. But when I first started doing this stuff, it used to be the tinglies or the heats or the colds or whatever, but that all went away and changed into just a sense of knowing. And I guess practice, as the old cliche goes, practice makes perfect, but it's never perfect because there's always a growth to that.
Okay.
And we all go through that. We all have the ability to experience that. Because we're growing too, we're evolving.
Yeah, I understand.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Beatrice, anything that I can answer?
I guess something would be like maybe a good tip for like when you're going out and trying to deal with people who are not really abiding by the rules, and like how can you practice more I guess more patience might be the word, I'm not sure, but it's like, to me it's just like I get so aggravated, like I literally become like a reckless driver because I want to go in and out of the house as fast as I can. Then when I'm at the stores, I'm trying to like be apart from as many people as I can. And, you know, it's just a frustrating situation that you have to deal with other people who are just kind of like, I'm not sure if they don't really care, if they don't,
Yeah.
they're
I
just oblivious, or they just think that they're not going to get anything.
Yeah, I don't deal with anyone, and that I know of, and or that I'm conscious of. I see people the way that they are, and I realize that they're just acting out the way that they were brought up and what they learned in life on how to survive. And I'm not here to change anyone. And so I observe them, I watch them, but there's very little reaction that comes from me unless they do something directly to me, and then I act. I won't react, or I try to keep it conscious to act and not react. Where I'll do something truthful versus reactive as far as retribution or anything like that. Sure, once in a while in the car, you know, I swear at someone, you know, who's doing something, you know, just cut me off, and, you know, I get into it, you know, but, and I love it, you know, I enjoy that, but then, you know, I realize that I'm enjoying it, so I'm out of it. And that's my nature to some extent. But I try not to, in my life, or I try to, I say, not that I try not to, I try to be conscious of where it's become a pattern where I can look at someone who's acting really goofy, and you know, I don't deal with it. I don't. I just don't want to. It's not a part of my life that I want to. Not a part. That's the best way that I can answer that. So it's another perspective of looking at situation and people, and then we find ourselves not participating in the fear, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, because I've heard of like ways that you can just kind of like pray to whomever you pray to, and then just kind of say like, wrap me in some kind of bubble of light so that you feel like you're somehow protected, and then you don't.
But that's avoiding.
Mm.
It's a step towards the next step. But why not go right to the source and realize that we don't have to necessarily participate. They're acting the way that they were taught to act, either by the families or their friends, and the way that they learned to act. And they're just acting out. They don't know that they're putting on a show for us, so we can just watch them. It's like a movie, in a sense. And someone could be right in front of me, and this has happened before. Someone could be right in front of me, just they're triggered and for something, and maybe things happened earlier in their day, and then all of a sudden they are very, very violent, but I don't necessarily look at the violence. I look at them, and I'm watching them as they're acting out, and then they, as you're non-reactive in that situation, all of a sudden they become conscious for the moment, and they don't realize, or they realize what they're doing, and they're startled. I've seen this happen. Very violent people. I've seen it with gang people that approached me. I've seen it with all kinds of things. And they're startled. They don't understand why they were doing that, or they catch themselves and why are they like that, they think. So the idea is to see them as, this is what I do in my life. I see them as I'm observing objectively without the judgment or the fear. And if I'm not in fear, I'm not in judgment. Then, when that dynamic happens, when you stop yourself for that moment, oh, I wonder how I can handle this. When you stop yourself in that moment and start to wonder, then you broke the consciousness of the resistance, if that makes sense.
Sort of.
Yeah. We develop into this as we learn to become objectively observant versus reactive. And there is a feasibility to do that. There is a possibility to do that. We all carry that. It's like a gene we carry. Cool. Cool. Something to wonder about. Something to wonder about. Hey, Leo. Good to see you. Or your name. All right. Please, Cindy, did you have something?
I just have a question because
Please.
it's about meditation, right? Which is to me is really important. Every day I do it, and it does center me. But is there a shortcut to being quiet? Do you know what I mean? It's like you sit there, it always takes a lot of effort on my part to finally get to the place where you kind of drop into another place. So.
Two that I can think of right off.
Okay, good.
Whether we'll see if one applies to you or not. One is to, whenever you're catching yourself thinking, then it's reminding ourselves to wonder about something. It's reminding yourself to wonder about it and observing the thoughts, the thinking that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
And the other shortcut for the analytical mind is, and this is more for analytical mind, is to, when you have the situation that you're meditating on, or question you're meditating on, either or, the question or a statement, picture it in like a clear soap bubble, and then watch the bubble. It will break apart into other bubbles, breaking it down into pieces. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
That's great for the analytical mind. Keep watching the bubbles separate, and it'll tell you more of the story of what it's a part of.
Well, it sounds like fun in any case.
It is.
To watch those
It is.
bubbles.
It's something to get into and to try to become really good at that. You'll see that it might work for you a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a clear soap bubble where you get to see, like a glow of the colors, but they're translucent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
I've used them both, and
Yeah, it's just a matter of remembering to switch to wondering and observing versus thinking about the thinking.
yes, yeah. This way you can get into it and break it down
Okay. Awesome.
and have understandings about things. Just another way of doing things.
Mhm.
thousands of ways to meditate.
Right.
Anyone else? Final questions I can try to answer, Beatrice?
No, it's not a question, just something to add on to what you said, because like, I guess in layman's terms, because like something that helps me like when I meditate is to kind of like really pay attention to your breath. Like once you start doing that, like that will take you like places.
That's a way of introduction. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Or paying attention to like even parts of your body, like when you do meditations that take
Yeah.
you to different parts of your body, like that's a really nice way to really not focus on those other things and just really focus on, like, let's say your finger or something. And
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. That's a great introduction. But Cindy and I were brought up in an order that we were told to, they asked you a question and you had to give an answer, and it had to be the correct answer. And they knew it was the correct answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and what-
or have a statement and you would get an elaboration on the statement. Or if you wanted to, when Master Alonia, it was one of the women teacher became a master, we were wondering what her name was going to be. So everyone in the house was told, all right, and she was in California and we were in Fort Worth, and we were told, okay, she's going to be installed into mastership. And so we had we were challenged to find out the name of what she was going to be called. And so we had to know that. And it was like a challenge, a game for us. And so we came up with, a few of us came up with the name, what she was going to be called. And therefore, we found out that she was called that particular name. And being in California, we found that out an hour later. That's what we use meditation for. Other people use it for relaxation or concentration. And it helps the body no matter what you use it for. What were you going to say, Cindy? I'm sorry.
Nothing. I was just going to thank you for that, and also whoever it was that talked about breathing, because yeah, I have done that. This is about going to the, like, you can go to different levels and levels and levels and other dimensions, and it's just a matter of that place where you want to go so deep that you actually you're not conscious of yourself anymore, right?
Yes.
So, and that's why I was just looking for a shortcut, and I know there aren't any.
Right.
The magic wand. Do you have one, Mark?
Twanger, Master Twanger, Froggy.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My total pleasure. And all right, good. So please, is there anyone who would like to start who has something they'd like me to work with? Please, anything. And please, okay, Samantha.
I was having a lot of trouble with my lower back. It's been going on for many months now. And some days it's really painful and other days it's a little bit less, but it's always there.
All righty. All right. Now, when I work with a person, you may feel things happening. In my mind, with my intent, I'm putting my spiritual fingers into that area. And some people may feel things happening inside or outside. And just to let you know, who knows what, everyone has different sensations and senses and feelings of those senses and stories, what the senses are, etc. And so you may be affected immediately, or it may be incremental, or it may be just right away, or as soon as we're finished, you may say, oh my God, that's great. And or it may be 2 weeks or 2 months later, you're walking down the street saying, oh my God, when did this leave me? If that should be. I never know. I never know. I pretty much leave it up to the old man or old woman inside. And I say, okay, boss, you take over. And so, all right, sit back for a moment, and I'm going to imagine my hands on your back. You tell me if you should sense something happening, please, and be candid with me.
Okay.
You say your lower back, and my perception is it's a little bit higher than in what is called L5.
Okay.
And can you relate to that?
Not really.
Okay. All right. So if you took your thumb and
Mhm.
pushed in so-called L5, is it tender there? And be candid with me.
Okay.
Right on the side of it, on the, um, it's right on your the left side.
Side. How far up?
On, I'll show you, matter of fact.
Okay.
It's right here.
Okay. Yeah, I feel it there.
Okay,
Mhm.
so to me, that is a causal, and there's been effects since then, and this has been going on for a long time.
Okay.
So, and what I'd like you to do is if you can put your hand over that area, the palm of your hand.
Okay. Okay.
And tell me if you sense something happening. Did you sense something right there?
I feel a warmth, a heat.
And it's going inside. Is that correct?
Okay. Yes.
All right, now take your hand away and move your back around a little bit and tell me if you notice any difference in it. And it's okay if you don't, or if you do, either way.
Feels a little looser, not as stiff.
Okay, let's see what more happens with that.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mark. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Carmen, anything in particular you'd like me to work with, please? Carmen or Brita?
Hello, this is
Hi,
Kristen.
Brita.
Hi. Well, I have I've gone through a lot of transformation in the last 4 years. I've had a chronic headache in my right side and problems with the right side of my body. They are getting better and better, but I've been doing working a lot of light healing, energy healing, receiving healing. Never quite goes away, so I'm interested in wanting to know why it's not. But it's mostly the headache in my right side.
Okay. I don't know why. And, I know nothing medically. I was married one time to a neurologist, and everything I've learned medically was listening to her give consults over the phone, and I only heard one half the conversation. So that's my medical knowledge. And I was married to her for 10 and a half years. And so I got to hear a lot of conversations, but only half of them. But my perception in the dark of not knowing is that there's a nerve inside. And I want to, I don't know the full story of that yet. So I'm going to work with that a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I just want you to just sit back and just Relax and tell me if you sense something happening inside your skull, okay, hon?
All right.
I'm dyslexic, so immediately I wanted to work on your other side. And I don't even believe that it's a neurological thing. I uh, more apt to think that it's a biological thing.
Hmm.
Do you sense something happening, like a little pressure right there?
I sense a flushing, kind of a flushing feeling.
Okay. All right, good. And do you feel also the flushing through your face? The
Yes.
upper. All right, good,
Yes.
good. Okay. Uh, Open up your eyes, move around a little bit, and tell me if you notice any difference in the way that you feel in your face and your head, your skull, or whatever. And it's okay if you don't, but if you do, or the same, or whatever.
I feel expanded somehow. I'm not sure about the pain, but I feel bigger somehow.
All right. If you gain weight, it's not my fault.
No, just my head.
I swear to God, I've never seen her before. Or I swear, officer. One or the other. All right, good. And someday, if you're ever interested in having an appointment with me, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Anyone, really.
Okay, thank you.
So, Christina, please talk to me, my dear.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Okay, so first for Steve, he just wants a blessing because he's one of those essential grocery store workers. So
Sure.
he's had to deal with, being out in the public.
Yes.
Do you want to say anything?
Oh, sorry. I mean, I feel good, Mark. I'm doing whatever I can to kind of just stay away from people and do what I got to do. Obviously, washing hands, doing all the things you're supposed to do. But there are a lot of people who I think out there that are not taking some of this as seriously as they probably should, especially for us that are out there. I mean, you know what I do for a living, and as much as I'd like to take the time off, I kind of can't. So I don't know if I'm looking for a blessing or
how about a blessing?
that's cool, because I do say a prayer from time to time before I'm going to work if I feel I need to, just to kind of protect me from whatever, as well as those around me in the store. I think more people are having a harder time than I am. You know how I am, and I just like you. I see things in the car, and that's it. But whatever you can do.
You got it.
Thank you, Mark. And then for me,
1 second.
Oh, that's okay.
Not done.
Sorry.
All right, young lady,
Thank you, Mark.
my honor.
Thank you, Mark. For me, I think the only issue I'm having this week, I'm noticing, is I have a lot of tightness in my like solar plexus for some reason, and it's
Okay.
like I get like cramps in my ribs.
All right, close your eyes. Tell me what happens.
Feeling a lot of like cool wind, which is usually what I feel.
Yeah. What you're doing is, that will help to some degree, but what you're doing also is your structural. Uh, it's uh, it's creating a pattern in your, whether your movement or your sitting,
Okay.
and so it's it's wise to or greater for you to start to, if you can get out walking and
Okay.
stretching. Really important. Really important
Yes.
because the body's, you don't want it to set the pattern of that.
Okay.
It's creating dysfunction in the structural, and you want to stop that
Okay. Good.
before it starts. Good.
Yeah, because I've been working from home, so I obviously am sitting differently, and I am getting up a lot more. And today was nice, so I was able to get outside and walk a little bit. But yeah,
Cool. Yeah, do
yeah,
it more. Do it
right.
more. And, take deep breaths when you're outside, try to, pretend to jog.
Right.
Or jog.
In my mind.
Yeah. And if you can go on grass, go on grass,
Right. Right.
not on cement so much. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Cool. Rose, please. Anything, my dear. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here, Rose. Put on your sound. Put on your sound.
There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's not physical, it's emotional. I just got out of a relationship that I thought was going to be something more than it was. I'm glad it ended when it did, but I'm reeling from that.
Okay. And all right, let me ask a blessing on you, okay? If you don't
Okay.
mind.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now put your hand on your heart. And I'm going to put my hand on top of yours, okay?
Okay.
Did you notice something happening?
I felt a lot of warmth.
That's the
Great.
love of God.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is literally the love of God.
Thank you,
And
Mark.
it has never forgotten you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bless you.
And you, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Did I work with you, Cindy? No. No,
No.
please.
Well, two things. One is, I mean, I think the lower back thing is always for people like me that work from home, yeah, and the sitting and all that. So that kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then the other thing is for my son, who also works in a hospital, for a blessing for him. His name is Marco, and
Okay.
and he's also very afraid, you know, but he's courageous because he goes and does the work. But he's concerned, and so I pray for him. But if we could bless him, that would be great.
All right. Let me work
Let's
with
do
him
that.
first.
Okay.
Is he on the East Coast?
No, he's in Eugene.
Where? Eugene, Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know why I keep getting the East Coast. All right. Now, sit back or stay there. Whatever's comfortable. You should be doing some dancing or something. There you go.
Yeah.
Religiously.
Dancing?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
What, dance?
Yeah.
No, I don't dance, but I do some stretches now and then. But
Well, you should be doing some dancing and stretching.
okay. Moving around is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I've been going out every day and walking.
Good.
Now that the sun has returned.
Yay. Well, you're in the Seattle area.
Right.
So,
Yeah. About 2 hours from there.
tell me if you feel a warmth happening in there.
Yeah, actually between my shoulders it was warming up too and kind of so,
It's
yeah.
the whole body structure. It's all synchronistic. One big
Yeah.
organ.
Yes,
Organ.
that's true.
There we go.
Thank you.
Water. I'm hoarse. All right.
Thank you.
Beatrice, please.
Hi. So I've been,
Or excuse me, 1 second. Carmen, please. I'm sorry, Beatrice. One moment, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've had pain here for so long. I've had a
Right side.
infected root canal,
Oh.
And the tooth was pulled 10 years ago, or even longer than that, actually. I think 2008,
Okay.
maybe. Anyway, and I recently found out, like, I've had pain not only there, but it's traveled throughout my body over the years. And I think now that I got a bacteria when my dentist tried to put a bridge in, and it's traveled throughout my body. And I've tried everything. It seems like everything just makes my pain worse, and it's put so much pressure on my face. Like, it's really affected me. I can't work.
Tell me something. Did they give you a good dose of antibiotics?
When the tooth was pulled, yes, and I was fine after that. But one mistake I made is I didn't take the probiotics.
That would have canceled. I think that would have canceled out the antibiotic.
Oh, well, at least after the antibiotic. You're supposed to at least afterwards rebuild your gut flora. And I'm thinking maybe that's something, I should have done, and I didn't. I didn't do it just because of circumstances. I wasn't thinking straight. So anyway, so I've had to.
I really don't believe that would have created what this is now.
Okay.
So don't worry about that or feel guilty about that.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. I know that somebody who does alternative testing, well, this is how I found out I had an infection in the first place. About 6 months ago, someone was able to identify a certain kind of bacteria that is related to gingivitis, and thinks that's what's causing, like, it's like awful stickiness traveling from here down both sides.
I understand, hon. Now, one thing, I know nothing medically, but do you do deep flossing?
I'm trying to get better at flossing. I don't
Do
know
it.
what deep flossing is.
Deep flossing. Deep flossing. It'll help a lot.
Okay.
Deep flossing. And your gums will bleed and everything else, but don't worry about that. It'll stop bleeding after a while. After, say, a week or a couple days or 2 weeks, I don't know. That's my understanding.
What is deep flossing?
Take some floss and go, fairly deep to stimulate the tissue in there to regenerate it.
Okay.
And also, to my understanding, if you use one of those water pick things to stimulate as well.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Good. Do it religiously.
I do.
And with the flossing. That
Yeah.
would, in my understanding, help. So let me work with you.
Thank you.
There, you just began to feel something. What was that like for you, hon? Can you relate to it?
Well, at least it didn't make it worse. If anybody works on me, usually they make it worse.
I'm not worried about that.
It flares up, but that's not happening. I'm not feeling a lot, except for maybe just, I don't know, maybe I'm feeling a little calmer.
And there. There. All right. Let's see what happens with that. But do that, what we talked about.
Okay.
Okay? Religiously.
I'll get better at the flossing.
Deep flossing, yes. Yes. That's what my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
I never tell anyone for sure to do anything. And when I see something, I express it in a conversation. So that's the way I communicate.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. So it might just take me a little longer to respond, right?
Oh yeah, it'll take you a little while. You'll be growing into it.
Growing into it. Okay.
Yes. Into the help.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. And next month, you'll be at the Healing Circle. And tomorrow we have the question and answer if anyone has any. Leo, my friend, anything, my dear. Are you there? Put your mic on. Put your mic on, Leo. There you go.
Hi, my friend. Hi.
Hi. Good to see your name there.
I know I was trying to put a video, but for some reason couldn't do it. And I have my husband here, so he was trying to help me out too.
Okay. All right. All right. So talk to me. Any thing you would like me to work with?
The blessing, like you always give it to me, but I would like in particular my husband. He having a bad asthma, respiratory. So maybe I've been trying to do some healing to him, but I know you're stronger than me.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yes, you are.
Let's see if we can help. All right.
His name is Pablo.
I'm sorry, hon.
His name is Pablo.
Okay, Pablo. Honor to work with him. Ask your husband if he can feel a warmth in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
He's listening.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I am calling now. That love of God that's giving him a little reprieve in life. So we'll see how that affects. We'll see how that affects.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
I felt your energy all the way myself.
What's that? I'm sorry, Leo. Oh, you did too? Good. Excellent. Excellent. Carmen, please. Anything. Put on your mic, Carmen. All right. The mic is on. Michelle.
Yes. I
Hi,
don't know
here
where
you
to
are.
start. Yeah. I don't
Tell
know
me-
where to start.
Tell me one thing, hon, that I can work with. Tell me.
Well, my throat.
Okay.
I can't swallow very well. And I'm having trouble eating and drinking. And I go in Friday to have my lungs drained
Yes.
at the hospital. So I hope that will help it. I don't even know if it's related. But it affects my voice, eating
Yes.
and drinking, and Yeah, I'm just uncomfortable
Sure.
in my body right now.
Okay. Alrighty. Let me work with you, hon.
Okay. I feel a sensation.
What does that feel like to you?
I don't know. It was a sensation in my throat. Um, like a relaxing.
And there. Don't forget, and this applies to everyone, don't forget the sense you might have had when you were being worked with. Try to recreate the memory of that.
Okay. That feeling, that sensation.
Yes, yes. Try to recreate it, the feeling of that. And watch what happens from that. The Apprentice, I know who it is. Is there anything I can work with, please? Anything you would like to say? If you want to unmute yourself. And if not, that's okay, hon. And who's Sandra? Lynn? Are you there, Lynn? Who's Sandra?
I'm new, actually.
Oh, where are you?
I'm
Oh, there you are, up there.
here. Yes, I'm from Canada. I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to work with, hon?
Well, I'm an empath, and I feel a lot of, I process a lot of energy for a lot of people, and just maybe some relief in, because I feel whatever someone is feeling, I feel it very deeply in myself, and so whatever you could do to help would be awesome.
Okay. Would you like for me to ask a blessing on you?
That would be beautiful. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, my pleasure.
And I'm going to mute myself because I belch, and I'll feel it. I felt it with others. So thank you.
Okay. Please, do you know of anyone that I didn't work with? Is there anyone, please? Please.
I haven't gone yet.
Who is that?
Me.
Beatrice?
Yes.
There you, okay, there you are, up there. The boxes keep moving on me and I don't know anymore. So I'm sorry. Anything in particular I can work with, please?
So I've been going through like a divorce and then refinancing of my house, and I've also been having some like upper back pain, but I don't know if the upper back pain has anything to do with those kinds of issues, or if they're a totally separate issue in itself. And if like
It's a
working.
totally separate issue.
Okay.
It's a physiological one.
Because I guess the upper back pain, I mean, one day it'll be, you know, because I was told to have a herniated disc on my neck. So some days it manifests on the right arm, and the other days it manifests on the left arm. And you've worked on this before, and it seems to somehow sometimes go away. I think the longest it's been gone is like probably like a month or two, but then
All
it
right,
comes back again.
Okay, let me work with that again, because the spine has muscles connecting to it, and that protect the spine, and that spread all throughout the body, to my understanding. And so when the muscles don't get strengthened, they start to form another pattern, and it creates havoc in our body, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've been working on doing that. It seems like
Good.
I'm doing that every day, but it's still don't really
Okay.
see too much of a change.
Yeah, it is a big change. It's a relearning. So let me work with that a little bit, okay?
Mhm.
And let's see if it can help you a little bit longer this time than a month. There. I felt like a release of like a consciousness leave you. So let's see if it lingers outside or it stays away.
Great.
And
Yeah, I mean, I did feel some kind of loosening up,
yes,
which was weird, almost like there was like a rope or something in there, and it just kind of was like releasing.
yeah, it was learning a new pattern. That's why it bothers you.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Please, is there anyone else? I know Christina had to leave. Anyone else that I didn't work with, or can anyone express anything, please? I want to, for the apprentice, I want to ask a blessing on her. And I saw her just rock. It flushed through her, which was pretty neat. That was for you, apprentice. L. All right. Please, how do you feel, Rose? I can't, I'm sorry. The mic. There.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I could feel that warmth, and I've been doing what you said. I put my hand over my heart, and I can feel God's love and warmth coming.
It's incredible.
So I will continue to do that, Mark. Thank you so much.
Please. Thank you.
Thank
Is there anyone else that I can work with? Samantha, you doing okay, hon? And Brita and Carmen? All right.
I think I'm okay, Mark.
Okay,
I'm
good.
hoping the back will heal. It's not completely healed yet, but we'll see.
Let it develop and don't be impatient with it.
Okay,
Be impatient.
okay.
All right. And all right. Oh, Lynn. Let's work with Lynn. Is there anything in particular, Lynn, that you can think of?
Not really. I'll take one of those blessings though.
You got it. My honor. My honor. Don't forget, if anyone finds it within their heart that they want to make a little donation, you go to my website. And other than that, if anyone's interested in an appointment, and tomorrow is the gathering where there's questions and answers, which is really neat. And if you go to the Facebook page or the website, you'll see a link to the gathering. And I'm honored and appreciative for you being here. And next month we'll do another one if anyone's interested. And we'll see what happens. And I love updates. Thank you, Samantha. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye, Marquito.
Bye.
Blessings, everyone.
Blessings.
Bye, everyone. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Blessings.
Bless me.